Education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. Every child has a right to a free basic education under the belief that poverty and the lack of money should not be a barrier to schooling. Unfortunately, our world is full of such barriers, as despite all the technology and wealth in today's world, 175 million children lack basic literacy skills. 1 out of 4 young people in developing countries are unable to read a written sentence, and more than 226 million children do not get a chance to attend secondary school. This leads to a need of approximately 69 million new teachers to educate every child in today's world. But what if the solution to educating every child in the world already existed and didn't require training a teacher to be in every village or classroom around the underdeveloped world? This solution has been literally right under our noses the whole time. There is only one mechanism that can effectively deliver all of the known knowledge in today's world in a split second, and that is the internet. What would have been unimaginable even 30 years ago is now a reality, and a young child with access to the internet today has more information readily available to them than any generation or person in the history of humanity. However, all of this information requires having access to the internet. Just as humanity once decided that food, water, and shelter were necessities of life, the internet, which has come to represent all of the knowledge known to humanity, is itself a human right that should be free to every child in the world. The benefits of internet access and thus access to the tools of self-education are immense. Not only does educating children reduce poverty and conquer disease, but the societal and global benefits will spill over to all of us. As a wise man once said, whatever the cost of our libraries, the price is cheap compared to that of an ignored nation. An area the universal internet access will dramatically affect in particular is the lives of the disabled. In the world's poorest countries, up to 95% of children with disabilities are out of school because of a combination of discrimination, lack of training and inclusive teaching methods among teachers, and a lack of disabled, accessible schools. However, the internet is a form of education that can be accessed from the home, meaning that disabled children wouldn't be constrained from local schools due to their physical conditions. By watching this video, you cannot imagine how lucky you are to have access to the internet. Both me and you were born in this world with too many opportunities falling on our laps. When there is someone in a different path of the world who, like us, has the same abilities and motivations, yet he doesn't have a voice and he's sitting in a four-walled room somewhere. We need to get him out and spread the wings by providing education through internet. So, how will we accomplish this project? Let's find out. Tech companies such as Google, Microsoft, Apple, YouTube, and Facebook can begin this process by being convinced to donate 1% of their annual profits to this mission of bringing education to the developing world, followed by a push to convince governments around the world to each donate 1% of their own budgets towards this mission. With these funds, the large internet providers will then use a combination of air balloons, drones, and satellites to give internet access to the developing world. In exchange, hundreds of millions of children around the world will now have free internet available to them. As for access on their devices, luckily cell phone and computer use is spreading rapidly throughout the world. Everyone deserves to make something out of their life. And once the people have access to education, we believe they will. The people will develop their own ideas once they are online. But first they must be connected. The connection is the key. What we believe will take place is a democratic explosion of ideas. People who formerly were cut off from the global conversation now have a voice. Not only is this smart policy that benefits everyone, but it also addresses our collective responsibility to provide knowledge to every person or faces societal consequences for our communal neglect. As Victor Hugo wrote in his novel Les Misérables, teach the ignorant as much as you can. Society is culpable in not providing a free education for all, and it must answer for the night which it produces. So let's end the darkness, educate the globe, and bring the world to everyone's fingertips.